Hi, today I'm trying to put in my Arlo doorbell, security doorbell, built-in camera and audio and all that. And you put in the way it works, and it's similar to Ring and all the others, is there's a base you attach first and then the camera will sit in there. The problem with stonework is it's not level, and it wouldn't be a big deal except that in this case it's so unlevel that it would tilt the camera. Not only that, but there'd be gapping conditions between the stone and under the stone here where critters and dirt could get up under there, and it just plain wouldn't look good. So the question is, how do you fix it? Well, I'm a woodworker, and one of the things I would have done is spend all day whittling a piece of wood that was shaped like this base. And what you do is you can get lipstick and put it on the brick and press the wood against it, and then get out your Dremel and start carving away and put the lipstick back on and push again and go back and forth. You can iterate until you finally get a really good fit with a piece of wood. However, that is so time consuming, and I just didn't want to spend the time to do that. So today we're going to use QuickSet. It's kind of like mortar mix that you get at the Home Depot or any of the regular hardware stores. And I'm going to make a flat surface made out of a concrete substance, so that I'll have a flat surface that I can later go in and drill holes into and anchor them. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is center the wire coming out the wall with the base. And technically you should get a level and measure carefully, be sure it's exactly vertical, but I think that's close enough. And I'm going to outline it roughly with a pencil. And I want well, shoot, that looks crooked from here, but anyway, I'm going to make the base made of QuickSet a little larger, because I want to be sure I have it. For one thing, I want a little wiggle room to adjust the base, and the other is the more edge distance you have with your fasteners, the less likely it is that you'll crack the concrete. I'm calling it concrete. It's really QuickSet, and I'll show you the sack that you need to look for at the hardware store. Well, I need to uncover some things. Hold on. Here's the QuickSet. In this case, this brand, they call it FastSet. Of course, the sacks are going to look different depending on the different manufacturers and such, but be sure you don't use concrete or even mortar. You want to use FastSet. Otherwise you'll end up, if you use concrete, you'll have all the rocks in it, and that's not what we want for this case, because we have such a thin layer that we'll be laying out. If you use mortar might work, but I believe it's so brittle, once you start drilling in it, I think you'd crack away. This FastSet is made specifically for purposes kind of like this, and to set tile and stonework on homes. So anyway, be sure you grab the QuickSet or FastSet when you go purchase your mix. Okay, my next job is I'm going to use masking tape, and I'm not going right up to the edge of my pencil. I'm going a little further out. Again, I want a nice space that I can have enough wiggle room to adjust my base there. I'm going about 1/8 of an inch outside. Of course, you go too far out and you will end up showing a lot, and it might look odd. So and of course, this masking tape is to protect your QuickSet from spreading beyond the boundaries here further than you want. And it's going to be tough to stick. I'm going to use several layers here. And I want to go fairly wide, because I don't want to worry about having to go outside the boundaries here. And I could work on kind of rounding. I'm going to put like a little chamfer to kind of follow the rounded corners of the base. Just to make it look good, I guess. I don't know if we'll have that kind of fidelity on our QuickSet or not, but it doesn't hurt. And actually, I want more space. I'm too close to the line here. I'm going to redo this and give myself about a 1/4 inch around. I won't go get my X-Acto knife and cut it away. It dawned on me that as I'm putting the fast set up here and messing with it, I'm going to have quite a bit of dripping going on. So I'm going to put some newspaper down the wall here in an attempt to protect my brick below. Unfortunately, it's a windy day, so hopefully it'll stay. Yeah, this isn't sticking very well. Cover on the bottom here to protect my concrete patio here too. So the next step is to mix the QuickSet, and we'll see how good we can do this. Of course, this wire is a problem. Technically, I'm lucky. I've got a fairly thick sheath here, and it's not wanting to slide back into the wall. A lot of cases, your doorbell has two very small wires, and the last thing you want is for that thing to fall into the wall. That's a whole nother problem. So I considered taping it to the side, and before the QuickSet dries, we would have to pull this, and it would create a trough, and I'd have to fix that. And in fact, I think I might do it that way. Another problem is I'm going to end up stuffing this hole. I tell you what, I'm going to get some paper and stuff it in this hole just to keep this QuickSet from going up in that. Okay, I'm going to mix the QuickSet in this small plastic container. Usually you use a wheelbarrow, but this is such a small amount, I wanted to put it in a smaller container. Something else that's helpful is to wet the area that you'll be applying the QuickSet, just so it'll stick a little better. And it doesn't take too much water. Don't think you need to use a whole lot of water, and you can always add more. Now QuickSet is named QuickSet because it dries quickly, so you've got to work fairly rapidly. Yes, it should be enough. Got to get a better picture of this. I am not an expert at this kind of thing. I'm a do-it-yourselfer that does this occasionally. I just know you need to sneak up on your water amount. Don't put too much at one time. And what we're looking for is like a consistency of oatmeal. And be sure you get all that dry powder at least moist. I don't know if you saw that. I had a piece of newspaper I put in that hole so I don't put a whole lot of that QuickSet down the inside of the wall. Not that it would do any harm, I don't believe, but see, this is so soupy, it's wanting to fall off. And it just dawned on me, you're not seeing what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, so I've got it mixed. I'm applying it. I'm trying to get it as flat as I can. And now I wish I put a little bit more tape down a little further out, because as you can see, I'm already approaching the edges. Again, I want right now the upper side is a little too high, which makes my camera base point downward a little bit. So I'm trying to build up this lower section. Okay, that's pretty dang close. Of course, if I screw around with it more, I'll ruin it. So we'll give that a chance to dry. Okay, here it is about 2 hours later, and man, I can't believe how hard it takes, how short a time it takes to harden like that. One of the problems is it is hard enough where it's not going to come off just due to pulling on tape. So what I'm going to do is take the base of the doorbell again, trace it again with this in the center, and kind of use that as a guide along with the interior edge of the tape to chisel away as much as I can to get off this excess. That's about what it should be. I'm going to outline it with a pencil. And I know I was about 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch beyond, and we'll see how that goes. Of course, my biggest fear is making things worse. We'll see how it goes. Okay, here's a chunk about to go. I guess I have two goals here. One is to not crack the inside of where the base is going to sit, and the other is don't ruin my actual house stonework. Be sure to wear safety equipment. I've got my shatterproof glasses on. You need to wear goggles. you don't wear glasses. Yeah, I was thought about letting it set up overnight, but I was thinking this part of the process might actually be easier before it sets up completely. So, of course, if you do it too early while it's still wet, I'm afraid if you were to peel away the masking tape, you would also peel away the part that is actually that you want to stay. So this might be maybe a good compromise to do it after it sets up about 2 hours. This is going to take a while. I'll skip ahead. Seems to be coming away pretty easy. This is a cold chisel specifically for concrete. I'm using one looks like about a half to maybe, I don't know, 5/8 of an inch wide, and that seems to be a good size. Any wider and it might be tough to get to the curves, and any smaller you might do more damage than you want to do. Keep in mind it's thicker down here. And this is where my biggest concern is of a crack going up into the base where I don't want it. I'm chiseling real close to the edge so that I'm afraid if you start in the middle, you don't have as much control over where the crack might go. But if you start near an edge, at least half that crack that develops, you know where it's going. It's going to go to that near edge quickly. This is looking promising. It looks like it's going to work out real well. Famous last words. We'll see. Okay. Not quite as pretty along the edges. But I hope you can tell that the reason I had to do all this is, you see the bottom here is so far from the stone that the entire doorbell would have sat flush to the stone. It would have been pointed downward. So this kind of shim makes a flat shim for the doorbell base. And okay, I've already messed up. It turns out that I was going over the instructions again, and they really want the wire to be coming out towards the bottom section of the base here. So I could kind of sneak it up a little bit, but I'm not sure why, because I don't know if it really matters, but they want it towards the bottom. There may be a recess on the actual camera to allow room there, but anyway, and it's dawned on me that I'm going to have too much wire sticking out. I may have to chisel around this wire to allow some of the wire to go back into the wall. But for now, I'm going to try to use this as is, and I will be making marks to put in the screws, which will be anchor screws since we're going into concrete. Be sure that looks about straight. I'll double check all that. So now that this concrete shim is created, it's a lot better. You see how thick it is on the bottom. It's a little bit more leveled up, but it's still real bumpy. And so I did a little research, and it turns out they say the best way to smooth concrete is to, after it's hardened, is use a brick. I didn't know that until recently. So we'll give it a try. Worst case is I'll get a palm sander and sacrifice a 60 grit pad and make this a lot smoother. And I don't know if this is really working or not, but it's working a little bit. It's knocking off the high points anyway. Okay, rubbing it with the brick helped a lot. Now here's the moment of truth. We got to put these anchor bolts in. It requires this little plastic housing to go in first before you put in the screw. And one of my fears is as you drill, the whole thing crumbles away. But chiseling away this this mortar concrete mix, it appears to hold together real well. So I'm going to be surprised if it cracks it. I'm going to go fairly slow. I only need to go about 1.25 inches, maybe a little deeper. I'm going to get some masking tape and mark off my drill bit so I don't need to go that deep into the stonework here. Okay, the sleeve for the anchor bolt is about an 1.25 inches. So I got a piece of tape. I'm going to push it a little past the tape because you need to go a little deeper than you think, because you never do clear out all the dirt and dust and so we'll see if this doesn't crack here. That's doing well. Keep in mind, this is not a regular drill bit. You don't use a metal drill bit, metal cutting drill bit, nor do you use a wood cutting drill bit. There's a special concrete drill bit. It has a weird shovel looking tip to it, and they cut through concrete and stone better than any other bit. Be sure to close your eyes when you blow dust out. It's a habit you'll learn quickly. Okay, that's pretty good. Incidentally, Arlo's instructions are to use a 6mm concrete bit. It turns out it's 1/4 inch is close enough. They're within a few 10,000ths of an inch. So although they say 6mm, I didn't have time to order a 6mm concrete drill bit, but 1/4 inch is close enough. So I'm going to get a little hammer there and tap that in. So there's our first anchor. And just to be sure I marked it correctly, I'm going to take another look with my base. So I'm looking at the hole in the upper section, making sure this whole thing's kind of straight. And sure enough, my mark before was close enough. Take another look. Right there. That didn't go in real straight. Hopefully it won't matter. Could have sworn I drilled straighter than that. I wonder if... Okay. Hopefully it won't matter that much. That didn't go in real straight. Hopefully it won't matter. Could have sworn I drilled straighter than that. I wonder if... Okay. Hopefully it won't matter that much. So here we go. Incidentally, I have the angle attachment for my Arlo doorbell camera because I'm so far from the door and I need it to kind of point a little bit towards the center here. So anytime you're putting anything in with multiple screws and they all need to line up really well, be sure to get them all started before you tighten down anything. Otherwise, yeah, there we go. Otherwise, you'll end up having to loosen them up to get enough slack to put in the other screws. And here's another chance for the QuickSet to crack on me, because as you screw these in, generally the anchors will swell a little bit. But we'll see. I may have to chisel around here to let the wire in because I don't know if there's enough room. We'll find out. Well, here's the finished product, and it doesn't look as good as I thought it would. Hopefully, as this QuickSet dries a little more, it'll lighten up, or there may be some method of tinting or painting my blob of QuickSet to match my stone. Right now it looks like a big old gob of gum is holding on my Arlo camera, but I'm happy with it though. I've got a flat surface, it's going to last forever, and it works. And I might be able to fix it up a little bit later. If I had it to do over again, I think I would rather attach it to the stone directly on the high side, and on this low side I could have built a wood shim that would have straightened it up a little bit, and it might have been even a little easier to do than this task. But anyway, this is an option if you have a very uneven surface, is to use the QuickSet.